All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video. This is going to be a video on how, if if the new covenant is only for Israel, then how can salvation be for everyone, right? And this is just the facts. The new covenant is only for Israel, just like how the old covenant, right? The old covenant was only for Israel, but the new one is only for Israel too, right? This is Exodus chapter 24 and verse 4. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that Yahweh have said, we will do and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahweh have made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. So the old covenant, this is the establishment of the old covenant, right? The old covenant, I clearly just read it. The 12 pillars was made for the children of Israel. Anyone that's trying to say that the old covenant was for everyone, you're a liar. Because if the old covenant was for everyone, then how comes everyone didn't end up under the curses for breaking the laws under the old covenant? Right? How comes everyone was not destined to go through the curses or was not like in a contract where they're going to go through the curses if everyone was under the old covenant? Right now, I'm going to show two places I'm going to show the two places, the main two places where the new covenant specifically is mentioned exactly for what it is. There's other places where the new covenant is spoken of, but it does not clearly say new covenant. So I'm going to go to the two places, Jeremiah 31 and then Hebrews, the 8th chapter. And I'm going to show that the new covenant is clearly only spoken of being for Israel, right? And when you actually understand what the new covenant is, that is salvation, because according to the scriptures, the last enemy that shall be defeated is going to be death, right? So true salvation means being free from all things that are your enemy. The heathen are good, just like how we're going to be free from Esau in the kingdom. The heathen can technically be able to say that they're free from Esau in the kingdom as well, because Esau ain't going to be able to do none of the wickedness that he's able to get away with on the heathen now. He's not going to be able to do any of it in the kingdom because he's going to be in captivity himself. Esau's, they're going to be free from GMO foods in the kingdom the heathen are going to, but they're not going to be free from all the things that we're free from, because we're going to be free from death, right? We're going to be immortal in the kingdom. Every wicked Jake now, every demon Jake that's an adulterer, a grimy two-third, a grimy hood scammer, all of them Jakes are going to be in the kingdom after going through excruciating judgments from now until Yahweh Shai comes back, right? But they're going to be in the kingdom. This is what we believe as facts. We believe this through faith, but we believe that it's fact, that it's going to happen. We basically think it's happened already, really, amongst Israelites, man, that believe the true doctrine. But anyway, Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Right? This is what the new covenant is. That God's going to put his laws in the minds of the Israelites. So now, if you in the world in the past, before, like all these Israelites that they're going to know it after death by pain, if you was a grimy adulterer, a grimy unaliver, you was a murderer, some kind of real scumbag, in the past. Now you're not going to be, because you're going to be hindered from being it. You're going to be under the laws of Yahweh and be hindered from being a thief, right? If you was a woman and you was a hoe, you're going to be free from being a harlot. You ain't going to be able to be a harlot no more. Your mind is going to be altered in such a way that you accept that your man, your one man in the kingdom, can have 1,000,000 wives if he wants to, and not because you're agreeing. It's not going to be a thing where he's going to be able to have a wife because you said, oh yeah, I like her. I like Sarah. Yeah, you should marry Sariah. Yeah, you should marry Bethusela. You should. She's lovely. She's real nice. I like her. She's basically my friend. I love her. I like her. She's a really nice lady. In fact, you'll be mad not to marry her. It's not going to be because you want him to. It's going to be because he can. But your women's minds are going to be altered in such a way that you don't care. Because remember, according to the scriptures, a woman's glory is herself anyway. So in the kingdom, some of these women are going to be content with only seeing their man like maybe 1 month out of the year, if that. They'll be content with that, because while their husband is not around them, they're going to be able to glorify in themselves and do all kind of things, sprucing themselves up, trying all these different new looks that they want to do for when they see their husband again. This is just me using my imagination saying this. These women are going to be able to, oh, the next time I see him, I'm going to show him this look. And that would actually make relationships more enjoyable. Whereas in this world, in the relationships, right, people see their partner, their woman, too much, man. The man sees the woman too much, and the woman sees the man too much, because remember, according to the scriptures as well, that a woman is supposed to separate from her husband when she's on her menstrual cycle. So that's going to be happening 52 weeks out of the year. No, not 52 weeks out of the year. It's going to be happening 52 times out of the year, not 52 weeks, right? 52 times out of the year, man. There's going to be 52 occasions, right? Well, not even 52 occasions, man. It's going to be happening like 12 different occasions, man. When a woman goes through a menstrual cycle once a month, what am I about 52? It's going to be happening on 12 different occasions where that woman's going through a menstrual cycle and now she's separated for 7 days. So that's going to make the man not be around the woman for a time, and the woman not be around with the man for a time. Whereas in this world, a woman will get on a menstrual cycle and she'll want to be around you more. And she'll even, in some cases in the society, trying to sleep with you and make you fall even deeper into sin, man. Women try and do things like that in this world, and some men are so grimy that they go down with that. I personally think that's disgusting. But some men in this world are down for that kind of stuff. I don't think that that's righteous. I think that that's weird. Personally, I think that that's must be some kind of form of left-hand witchcraft in my opinion. But verse 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Right? These are the things that's going to be happening under the new covenant, man. That no Israelite is going to have to teach another Israelite again. Now, if this is only going to be happening to the Israelites, how can you as a Christian claim that salvation is for everyone? You're obviously lying. You're obviously lying, aren't you? If this is only something that's specifically going to be happening to the Israelites, how can salvation be for everyone? Verse 32 clearly says that it's going to be a covenant not according to the covenant that was made with their fathers. And this doesn't mean that it's not with the same group of people. It means it's a covenant with the same people, but it's different than the previous one that their forefathers experienced. It doesn't mean that it's a separate thing. Oh, this is not one like their father, because why would it even mention their fathers when the Israelites are not everyone's father? It says their fathers is to let you know exactly who it's talking about it being with. It's not talking about it being with everyone. Right? Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 6. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, but how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. So the first covenant had a problem, but the problem was the people, not because he chose the wrong people, but because the people had faults within them, because nobody was born under the new covenant So even if any heathen nation would have got given the old covenant, they would have broke the laws too, because they wasn't predestined, they wasn't made perfect neither, right? The Israelites were the people that it was given to, though. So it's not about whether any nation was better than us, because we already know that they weren't. Ezra saw to that, proved that in the scriptures. In the second Ezra, the 3rd chapter, he goes into that are the other nations then better than that over us, because they're seeming to be in a position of power over us. But then when he looked at them, he saw that they're sinning as well. Verse 7, for it's that first covenant have been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. For this is the covenant that I make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. Right? That's the new covenant, man. Verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. The new covenant is the ability that Yahweh is going to put into the Israelites to make them keep all of his laws perfectly. No more, no less, no more sinning, no more death, right? And if this is a thing that's going to be only given to the Israelites specifically, how can you as an honest person say that salvation is for everybody? You have to be a liar only. The only way you can say that is if you're a liar. Verse 12, for I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. Right? And their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. Yahweh is going to get rid of the Israelites sinning, man. He's going to rid the Israelites of that ability. And in doing so, he's going to save them, because he's going to give them through that, right? Through him doing that for them. In fact, let's go to the book of Luke. Through him doing that for them, he's given them what it was prophesied for Yahweh Shai to get, that everlasting kingdom, right? Luke chapter 1 and verse 33, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. The Israelites are going to live forever. There ain't going to be nothing where it gets passed on to nobody else. And I believe, well, I know in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, it speaks about it as well, like this, right? Letting you know, if you understand properly, that this is a thing for everyone. I mean, this is a thing that's like been spoken of before. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Right? It's going to be a thing where it's only the Israelites all the time, always. It's not ever going to be passed on to nobody else. It's not going to be. It's going to be continually the Israelites in charge, continually the Israelites in the position of power, continually every single individual Israelite is going to live forever. So any Israelite, from the moment they are born, they are never going to perish ever once. The numbers of Israel from that time, from the kingdom of heaven is established, once the Israelites end up under the new covenant, the numbers of the children of Israel can only ever continually go up. The number of Israelites is never going to drop below what it was from that very first day that we end up under the new covenant. So if you was be able to, we're not supposed to count Israel, but if you was able to count that innumerable multitude of Israelites that I've mentioned in Revelation 7 and 9, from the day of the kingdom, that is established with all them people that are going to be changed and brought under the new covenant. Now those people are going to be under the new covenant. All the people mentioned in Revelation 7 and 9, they're all Israelites, right? We've already, as Israelites, explained that several times, and I might do another lesson on it again after this, in fact, right? That number of whatever that great multitude is only going to keep increasing. It's never going to go down again, right? It's only going to ever be them. Or it's only going to ever be a higher number than that. That's the way it's going to go. And 1,000,000 years later, whatever the number of Israelites is at that point, the number of Israelites is only going to ever go up from that point. It would only ever be able to stay exactly the same or go up. We're not going to have like birthing crisis where there's not enough people and we have to worry about the Israelites. No, that's not going to be a case. And Yahweh is going to continually keep giving us abundance to where, despite our numbers multiplying over and over and over again, we still have more than enough. How could you not be happy to be an Israelite when you know these things? How could you not be grateful to Yahweh that you're not a dirty, stinking, filthy Edomite, man? Or one of the lesser scumbags of one of the other heathens? How could you not be like, you know what? Okay, we're catching all this hell. We're sad sometimes in the world, right? Sometimes we might not even want to be down here anymore, right? We're catching hell. We're going through all the things that all these other people in the world are complaining about. We're going through all of those things and all the different things on the spiritual side too, right? But at the end of it, we understand and we've got faith that we're going to go through these things that I've said in this video, right? Now, let me see if in Daniel the 7th chapter, I want to see what it said there as well, if it mentioned the kingdom being forever. Yeah, here we go. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Right? That's what's going to be happening, man. That's what's going to be happening forever for the Israelites, man. It's not going to be no thing of, oh, the Israelites end up cast down after a time because they start sinning again. No. All you people that are laughing at us right now, you better enjoy it while it lasts. You better enjoy our downward state while it lasts, because all the things that you're thinking are funny about our nation right now and you can laugh at us, those are the things that you're going to be going through very soon. All the pointing your finger at the so-called black man, Latino, Native American man is saying, okay, you're talking about us badly, but look at what you're doing. All of that. Soon, very soon, you're not going to be able to say any of that anymore, because it's going to be you doing that. It's going to be your people doing such things. You ain't going to be able to mention any fault with us. You're going to have to worry about your own nation and take the beam out your own eye. You ain't going to be able to poke and prod and press your fingers about us. You ain't going to be able to do none of that. You're going to have to look inwardly on your own selves very soon. Very soon, every single nation, men, women, they're going to have to look at themselves and realize, man, I'm not who I thought I was as a person, man. Whereas Yahweh has been putting the elect to the nation of Israel, the hopeful elect to the nation of Israel, he's been putting both, because the hopeful elect and the actual elect, in some cases, to a certain degree, are pretty much exactly the same thing. The majority or a great number of people that are hoping to be of the elect actually are. Now, what's going to prove that they are is that they're going to give diligence to make their calling and election sure. They're never going to stop hoping to be of the elect to the point where their hope has led them onto a chariot, calling on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Thawada Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Thawada Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakati Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakati Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Kalhala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Kalhala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Right? Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Because you've saved me from Babylon the Great, you've saved me from the beast, from the mark, from his image, from the dragon, right? From death. And you've made me immortal when all I ever really deserved was death. And you've did all the things that you said you was going to do. Thy judgments and thy works are sure and powerful and true. Thou art worthy, O Yahweh, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. These are the kind of things that the elect are going to be saying when they're on them chariots, man. Salvation is not for everybody. And if you're a person teaching that it is, you're a liar. Because if salvation is only for the children of Israel, I mean, if the new covenant is only for the children of Israel, how can salvation be for everybody? You're a liar. Right? Salvation is not for everybody, because if it was, then the new covenant would be for everybody. And you'd be able to go straight to where I went to, where it mentions what the new covenant specifically is, and you would be able to see the other nations mentioned by name in there, but you can't. You can see the Israelites mentioned by name in there, and the Israelites only. You cannot see nobody else mentioned by their name in reference to this. Now, you can try and pretend and try and play like that's the case and all that, but specifically seeing it there, you can't see it. You're having to make it up. So therefore it's a lie, right? If you're having to try and pretend like Israel means something different than Israel in one verse, right? Then you're a liar and you're a scumbag, especially when we see a Syrian mentioned in certain verses, an Egyptian mentioned in certain verses, and we say that that verse is talking about Israelites that are in those lands, that are scattered from those lands. You Christians will say, nah, you're making it up. You're playing a Hebrew hopscotch. But then when you're doing a Christian crossover and coming with your madness, right? You got a grievance when we say, no, Israel's talking about Israel, but you want to tell us that Egyptian and Assyrian is not talking about an Israelite within those lands. Israelites that were scattered amongst those people. You want to try and make it like it's okay for you to say that an Egyptian is talking about an Egyptian everywhere that it says Egyptian, but then Israel in some cases is talking about other nations. Why is it okay for you to do that? But then you've got a problem and agreements with us doing it. Who do you think you are? But here's the thing anyway, when it comes down to all of this, we do not have to believe the Bible the way how you believe it. And you don't have to believe the Bible the way how we believe it. So you can go and do your thing with your doctrine and leave us alone. And we can believe the doctrine that we believe, and we don't have to talk to you either. But what's supposed to happen with the Bible is everyone makes a claim. Everyone says what they think is going to happen in the Bible. Everyone can try and diagnose and attribute whatever nations they want for people. If there's some Chinese people out there that want to say that they're the Israelites, go ahead. Crack on, mate. Say whatever you want to say. But when the time comes where it's time for it all to be proven, we're going to see if whether you are Israelites or not, aren't we? We're going to see if you are. We can all say whatever we want to say. But when it comes time to prove, then you're going to have to prove it, aren't you? And on that, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.